Hi, this film is Understanding and Using Data. This is the second of 4 films linked to the staff training in June 2014. The first film gave an overview of the different types of progress data and how they can be valuable, and this film's looking at predictive data, so I'm going to go straight into looking at target minimum grades, the information available and how to use it with students. As was emphasised before, this really is all about stimulating curiosity and interest, and that's the main value of progress information to use with students. And in particular, target minimum grades are different from the quality systems that we use. They're not about monitoring the performance of the course, they're about supporting students to achieve the highest standards of which they're capable. On the first day when students come to the college in September, it'll be emphasised to them that target minimum grades are aspirational. They're intended as a guide to the minimum level that students can perform. And they are statistically generated, they're not a prediction. In some circumstances it may be appropriate to move the target minimum grade up because it's statistical information to generate discussion. And in many cases it doesn't fully reflect the student's ability or potential. There may be lots of reasons why that is the case. So the value is just as a guide for the conversation with the student. So that will be explained in general terms in the first session. As soon as we've received GCSE information electronically from schools, or entered it onto the Unity system where we don't have that electronically, we already have information from Alice, which is updated each summer, about the performance within different courses across the whole of the Alice group. So we'll be able to calculate ourselves what the statistical target minimum grade is. That will be shared with teaching staff in the form of the class profile that's pigeonholed at the start of the year, and it'll also be available on ProMonitor. In the first learning conversation, teachers will be able to discuss with students the standards they could be achieving on the course, using that statistical target grade as a starting point. And the Alice, the statistical TMGs, will be preloaded on ProMonitor. There's lots more information that's available about potential student performance than simply the target minimum grade, however. So to access that, I've actually gone onto the Alice website here, which you just Google ALIS, go on to Alice. You then need to find the CEM secure area. And there's a username and login which the college has, and that's available internally in this section of the Moodle virtual staff room that we're using right now. So when you're in the virtual staff room, to find that information you simply go into the new staff room, go into My Area and the results section, and the username and password is contained within there in the training document for this course. So under results, understanding and using data, and that's where you'll find the information. When you're into the secure area, this is the home page. There are value added reports which will be looked at in a later film, and predictive data reports, which is what we're looking at today. When you go onto the download screen, you'll see that there's a default exam year setting, which is 2015. In other words, the end of courses for students who've started AS last year. So it's telling you what they could be expected to achieve in those ASs when they become A2s. But I'm going to change that to 2013. I've amended that there. And I've downloaded the subject level report, which is this report here. This is what the report looks like when you download it, and that's course by course, showing you predictive information for each course at level 3. And in September this will include both A-level and applied courses. So you'll see the different courses set out there. I'm looking at an example here, which is AS Philosophy. And you'll see that there are around about 40 students who started AS Philosophy in 2012. And these were the AS results that we got this last summer, which is why I'm using it as an example. So there's around about 40 students taking AS Philosophy. The first information that we're given here is their predicted UCAS points. And that's using the UCAS scale where D is 30, E is 20, C is 40, B is 50, and A is 60. It gives an exact points calculation based on all of the schools and colleges in the ALICE cohort and what students taking that AS Philosophy would achieve in terms of their UCAS points. That's then turned into a grade. So you see that, I mean, these are first year predicted grades, and actually now we tend to use the A2 target minimum grade rather than the AS target minimum grade. You see quite a number of these are Ds and Es, which just reflects typical performance at AS in that course. But there's also students with a higher TMG based on their GCSE performance. A student here, for example, with 47 predicted points in AS Philosophy. And in a later film, we'll look at how those students actually did achieve at the end of their AS courses in 2013. So the main value of that information is looking at patterns of GCSE achievement and giving you an indication within each student as to a potential minimum expected level of performance to have that conversation in the early weeks of the course. You'll see there's a spreadsheet so you can access the same information. You can download it. And that information is available in Excel. Some schools and colleges use a predictive test as well as the GCSE results. Very often they're institutions that don't have reliable GCSE performance information, but we tend to use the GCSE results in common with lots of schools and colleges. Also available to us in September will be the chances graphs. Now those are available at student level. So I've downloaded the chances graphs here, and you'll see that they're available for each student. They're not separated out into different courses. This is an example of a chances graph for a student who's currently studying at the college. These are her statistically generated target minimum grades. But you'll see that the chances graph also give the percentage chance, based on the whole national picture, of that student achieving different grades. So although the student's TMG for art and design is a B, there's a 15% chance of achieving an A and a 9% chance of achieving an A star. So staff have asked for that information to be available in the early learning conversations with students, in the sense that it isn't just about the TMG, it's about what the student could achieve above and beyond that. And you'll see, for example, in the case of media, that the target minimum grade is on the high side of C, but there's a very almost equal statistical chance that the student could achieve a B, and then a 9% chance of achieving an A and a 1% chance of achieving an A star. So again, that's reflecting the national information, and it's really just a statistical background for the discussion with the student. Missing refers to the test, which I've said already some schools and colleges do, often when they don't have that GCSE information as a guide. So there's some additional information connected to TMGs and predictive performance that can be used in those early discussions with students at the beginning of the year. The next film looks at the information that's available from the progress audits. And then finally, we'll look at value added and how to use that at the end of the course.